All right. I'm delighted to be joined today by Scott Thornton, who's the president and owner of Temecula Winnelson here in Southern California. Sunny, very sunny and hot now, California. We've been waiting for this. And Scott has an extensive background in the trades industry. And now he and his team pride themselves on being the local wholesale supply plumbing source, providing solutions for contractors and other buyers by offering the best quality products at the best prices so that they can get the job done right and continue to grow their businesses and reputations. So welcome, Scott. I'm delighted to have you here. And, being close to 10 years, almost 10 years in business, which is, a feat in and of itself, I would love to hear from you. What do you think are some common misconceptions about running a business, and how do you address those?
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes.
I would say when I first started out it's probably 8 years ago, a little over 8 years ago. Mine was sales, 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 sales,
Mm.
right? Got to get sales, got to get sales. And there's really so much more that goes into it than that.
Yeah.
Cash flow is a big important thing in it. Keeping an eye on your accounts receivable and working with your customers
Mhm.
and making sure that you're getting timely payments and
Mm.
that you're able to use your working capital also.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the biggest mistakes I made in the beginning, first couple years,
Okay.
was not collecting the money, but
Hmm.
selling stuff. So that really doesn't do you much good. And
Right.
you find yourself behind the eight ball at
Yeah.
that point.
Right. So, what I hear is it's if you're in business, you're in sales, right? But you're getting the sales, isn't that great? But then you have to deliver, but then you have to collect. And then
Yes,
with growth comes, spending and just making sure that you understand the financials and also,
absolutely.
have access to them, but then also, understand how to use them.
Yep. And taking a look at your financials,
Hmm.
like you said, understanding them and your inventory and inventory control and how much should I have and how much should I buy and it's to make it a whole pie instead of just a sliver.
Sure.
And
Hmm.
paying attention to, I don't know if it's always equal parts, but a fair amount to each part
Yeah.
to make sure the whole thing's running as I
Hmm.
should. And
Yes.
and there's always problems, and it's not going to be 100%, but
Yeah. It's not always going to be a well-oiled machine, but it should be pretty close,
yeah,
once you
as
get it
close as
set
you
up.
can get. Yeah.
Yeah, closest you can get, exactly. And you are, within your company, with wholesale, inventory is a big thing. So I would just be curious, and for the other, wholesalers or product-based businesses, how do you best tackle inventory and managing inventory that way? So you're not just sitting on cash, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
right, that's your biggest asset is
Hmm.
your inventory.
Yeah.
Uh, and this took a lot of trial and error and learning and actually listening to suggestions from you know um, other people out there in the industry and um, some of their suggestions. And I always wanted to have product on the shelf, right? Because the customer wants it, we need to have it, and it's not really doing you much good to have 2 or 3 months sitting on your shelf
Yeah.
and you're not turning it and selling it that quick.
Hmm.
Um, so it took some time, some effort, but we learned to how long does it take us to get the product in? Well, let's keep 2 weeks worth on the shelf and then order more often and get our rotation and turns up to where they need to be. So we're
Hmm.
sitting on 2 weeks worth. We're ordering a week ahead of time, and it just
Yeah.
keeps going that way.
Yeah. What I hear is you started to develop the systems. So looking at, analyzing what's going on and even maybe the non-metrics in the business to understand, what are the timelines, and then having systems for ordering and things like that to further
So
develop this well-oiled machine.
deliverables and yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
And there's always going to be times where you have certain customers, important customers,
Hmm.
um, that need certain things
Hmm.
when they need them.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's going to be exceptions. You need to be flexible enough to okay, well, this product group, I'm going to carry excess just because
You know that they're going to
this
need it.
important
Yeah. Hmm.
important customer needs it when they need it, and other things. So knowing the flow and the work and your customer and having good communication with them and your vendors,
Hmm.
that's a big one too. Working with your vendors to, maybe I can get an extra 10 days to pay,
Yeah.
or, maybe I can get a discount on if I
Yeah.
pay with this amount of time. So, if you don't know and you don't ask, you don't know, right? So
Mhm.
it's just having open communication with customers and vendors.
Yeah. Well, that's one of you mentioned cash flow in the beginning, and one of the things that, is a common misconception. Okay, cool, the cash is coming in, but when and how and where's it going and all of that. And
Mhm.
part of, managing cash flow and making sure you have cash flow is working in partnership with your vendors. So that's a great tip in a cash flow strategy. That's a great tip. Um, so I guess, what would you attribute your growth to? We talked about before, and if I could share a little backstory, sorry, really quick.
Mhm.
Before we got on, we were talking about, Scott had been looking at other warehouses and just not making any plans, but just sort of feeling it out because they've outgrown their space. And, we talked about creating the vacuum, right? There probably, when you got that warehouse, there was room to grow and room to fill. And now
Yes.
you've filled the vacuum.
And
So
beyond.
yeah, so you've literally witnessed with your eyeballs the growth. So what would you attribute your growth to?
Hmm. Well, I would say one, my team,
Mhm.
um, and the hard work they put in, the culture we have here,
Mhm.
um, is another one, and just being able or be willing to do what your competition won't do.
Mhm.
And listen again, it's about communication, listening to what your customers' needs are,
Yeah.
um, and being realistic about what you can provide, and just being open and honest with them.
Mhm.
Um, yes, I can do that. That one's a challenge. How about we do this
Mhm.
instead? And
Solutions. Yeah.
yeah, and my big one is, and one of my selling points is our give a damn's just better than other people. We
Mhm.
care more.
I love it.
And I really think that's a huge part of it.
Mhm.
We're open, we're honest, we we try to communicate. You
Yeah.
always have breakdowns, but
Mhm.
and we try to fix things for our customers as quick as possible, right? I mean, how are they gonna be successful? By
Mhm.
us helping them and them staying on the job. And um, you know, our goal really is to be a partner with
Mhm.
our customers, and that's not going to be with every customer, but
Yeah.
we want to be a partner and be part of their company.
Yeah.
And the golden rule goes a long way.
Yes. The
Try to
go-to.
treat
Yeah.
Yeah, treat people the
Well,
way you want to be treated.
yeah. Well, and going back to culture, so, having a solid team, and would you say that when you made the hires that you've made, culture was a part of your hiring process?
It became that way.
Okay.
At first it wasn't. It was, oh, I need a body, and oh, I need somebody who can do this or do that. And it slowly turned into, um, I want to hire good people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, we can
Like,
train them
I'm,
to
I'm
do,
ready now for good people.
yeah, right. But
Yeah.
just and not that people are bad, but
Right. Yeah.
just good people who have the same goals that our
Mhm.
company does.
Yeah.
That our goal is to help our customers, for
Mhm.
them to be successful. When they're successful, we're successful.
Yeah.
And we can train people to do what we want them to do and in these positions. But
Yeah.
if they have the right attitude, they have good personalities, they're just good people overall, family oriented, it makes a difference.
Yes. Yep. Similar values. Say,
Hmm.
hire for character, you can train skill. So, I
Absolutely.
mean, in some positions, yes, you need more experience, but ultimately it goes back to, just like you said, attitude, and are they a fit for the organization now and where it's going? So that's
Yeah.
huge.
And as a leader of a company, and sometimes I'm a good leader and sometimes I'm not.
Mm.
But it's trying to take the ego out of it,
Yeah.
realize that I'm not so good at these certain things,
Mm.
see who is good at those,
Mhm.
and let them do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I need smarter people around me.
Yeah.
And it really helps.
Hmm. Yeah. You don't have to be the expert in everything.
Mm.
Isn't that nice? Such,
Sometimes, yeah.
like once you have that first, like, I don't have to be an expert in all things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It, guys, what do you think? Because
Mm.
this is what I think, and I don't know if it's the right choice or the way to go. And I
Yeah.
really value your input.
Hmm. Yeah. It's built, definitely builds a strong culture involving everybody and towards the common goal. So how many guys do you have on your team now?
Currently, we are, I believe, at 12 with myself.
Okay, great. Starting from just you, eight
Yeah.
years.
Well, yeah. When I got here, there was 3 employees, 4 employees,
Mhm.
and when I came in and had the opportunity, um, I think we were, I think there was 3 or 4 people here. That was a long time ago now.
Yeah.
And it was about 3 million in sales or so
Mhm.
annually. And we've grown up, with ups and downs up to 15 employees, and we're down around 12 now.
Mhm.
But I think we did about 11.5 million in sales last year.
Right.
And it's again because of the team and people's effort and
Mhm.
just willing to go above and beyond and listening. And
Yeah.
so,
Well, it
yeah.
says it attests to your leadership, and I admire that you can admit that you're not always the best leader, but it sounds like you're open to continuing in your leadership journey. One of the questions I was going to ask was like, what's the biggest struggle that you had in leadership? But feel free to answer that question. But I think, you saying like taking the ego out, and you're not actually the first business owner that I've interviewed that has said something like that, where, you get to a point where you realize I really physically can't do everything. And if you want to grow and scale, it requires other humans and moving up that entrepreneurial ladder. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the first couple of years here, it was, I was working 15, 16 hours a day
Mhm.
trying to do everything.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, the burnout's real.
Yeah.
I'd spend nights in the parking lot crying in my car because
Yeah.
holy crap,
A lot.
it's a lot. Yeah. And, with some training and everything, I came to realize you can delegate stuff.
Mm.
You can get other people to do it. And, you're surprised that, oh, people do want to do it and help,
Mhm.
and again, it's,
They're good
take,
at it, right?
yeah,
Like, yeah.
and better at it than I am.
Mm.
So, it's, it's a matter of realizing that
Yeah.
what your intention is, right? What's at the end of the day, what's your intention? It's to help people. It's not to be right. It's not to have it my way.
Mhm.
It's to help people and be open and listen, and let's accomplish it as a team.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Oh my gosh, I could talk to you about all this all day. Okay, so you mentioned in the beginning, when you're working 16, 18 hours a day, and it's just there is no work-life harmony. Your work, your job, your job is your life versus owning a business. So when can you remember or think about a pivotal moment when you decided you wanted to do things differently?
um, yeah, I would say so. So we have a corporate backing also, um, and they provided a training called a leadership academy.
Mhm.
And so I was going to that once a month,
Yeah.
with some other entrepreneurs, and it was part of during that training. They're like, "Well, what is the owner of the company, the president? What is it only you can do?"
Mm.
And they helped me realize
Yeah.
Well, it's owner to owner conversations. It's the
Mm-hmm.
the planning and the vision. It's and the other stuff people can help you with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was right kind of then when a light bulb went on. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I don't need to I don't need to control everything. I don't need to try to do everything myself. Ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a big one for me. And I came when I got done with that, it was like, hey, how about you? Look at that
Hey,
design.
you.
You, yeah. So and again,
Yeah.
I've had good people,
Yeah.
some amazing people here, like Greg Sowat, our vice president.
Mm-hmm.
He was here before me, and we've grown this company together along with other employees, and so grateful for his help, his contributions, and his strengths.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a family. You
Yeah.
butt heads and this or that, but you also have each other's back, and
Mm-hmm.
that you're there for each other,
Yeah.
and you're trying to accomplish stuff. So
Yeah. Great. And so at this point, you're no longer crying in the parking lot. You
not
are
every day.
not every day. Good. Good. I mean, it's a healthy cry, every now and then. um, where are you at with your work-life harmony? Do you feel like you have more a handle on that, or is that still a struggle? And what tips can you give
You-
people?
Man, that's interesting because I don't know if there is, like, people, 50-50 balance. There's really not, right? And like the same as a marriage, it's not 50-50. Some days it's 90-10. Some days it's 75-25.
Yeah.
It's a matter of accepting
Mm-hmm.
that it's not always going to be perfect, that it's going to be up and down,
Yeah.
and learning to accept that and go into it with the right mindset
Mm-hmm.
of, okay,
Yeah.
this is it's and again, I guess I don't see it as a balance because I some days I do work too much, other days I don't. It's just knowing that there's going to be ups and downs,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, it is all going to work out.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you, again, going with the right mindset and
Yeah.
realize there's going to be good times and bad times, and you're optimistic that you're going to make it through it, and you and your team are going to do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it gets better for me.
Mm-hmm. Zooming out to be able to zoom in. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm very similar in that work-life balance, where I like to say work-life harmony, which actually I is from another coach, with an action
Mm-hmm.
coach who coined that. But I was like, yes, it's more of a harmony where you feel good that you're giving where you need to give at any moment in time or over the long haul. So yeah, definitely. And then it sounds like you found some harmony there. Is there anything within your business that's been a challenge that you've had to work through specifically? And what have you done to overcome that?
Um,
Or what are you working towards even to overcome that?
um, yeah, I mean, there's always challenges.
Yeah. Entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I mean, what is it today?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it's it, I mean, like, I guess I mentioned, in the beginning, the challenge was seeing the bigger picture
Hmm.
and realizing there's more to it than just selling things. There's more
Yeah.
to it than just there's many pieces to the pie that, and you need to address them all.
Hmm.
And then figuring out what percentages require the most attention,
Yeah.
and that can change too.
Hmm.
Um, with a couple years ago, people paying on time and having the money to do it, and things like that, it was much easier.
Yeah.
Um, Today, uh, with the challenging times and
Yeah.
growing interest rates and inflation, and
Supply chain
people are,
issues.
yeah, if you've gone to the grocery store, holy
Yeah.
cow, right? Um, so people are holding on to their money more. So it
Mhm.
takes more of a challenge to collect on people's bills, and being able to work with them and communicate with them
Yeah.
to do so. So that's always an ongoing challenge.
Mhm.
It depends on the times.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just vehicles.
Mm,
You know, your fleet. We deliver materials to people.
yeah.
Um, Trucks are always breaking down, and
Mhm.
you know
Yeah.
things like that. So being able to keep, like, one of our challenges right now is we haven't maintained our fleet well
Mm,
enough, and so finding a company to help us. Hey, let's get on a maintenance program. I've only been here 8 years.
yeah.
Why do we need to do that? And then realize, okay, yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that. So maybe they don't break down as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it I guess those are always the challenges. And then um, as much as you love your team, and employees have their own challenges.
They're
Uh,
humans at the end of the
right?
day.
Yeah, we all have our things. So it's usually things along
Yeah.
those lines that
Yeah.
are the biggest challenges.
Mhm. Well, and initially you mentioned these bigger challenges or things that come up. They're bigger challenges where it's not necessarily in the day to day that you're in. It's more of bigger picture. It's strategy. It's
Hmm.
budgeting. It's where you have your business owner hat on versus in the trenches, which I'm sure that you continue to do, but it's more interesting challenges.
Well, in making the time
Yeah.
to be able to do that, to
Hmm.
strategize, to um, hey, how are we going to get new customers? What can attract them? What do we offer? What can I come up with a plan, or you know uh, you know I, I think it's called an elevator speech. Hey, I got 20 seconds to talk to you. What's going to enter it? And
Yeah.
coming up with those different things, and technology as it evolves,
Hmm.
um,
Which we
different things
talked
that we can
about before
offer.
we got on.
Yeah, things
Yeah.
like that. But
Yeah.
and then keeping up with it, and then having the right people uh, maintain it, and work with it. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, those are all
Mhm.
ongoing.
Yeah. Well, it's strategy, it's forward thinking, it's looking and analyzing risk, but also spending the time to do those things so that you can prepare. And you've come this far, and I only see you, continuing to go up, 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 and continue to fill the vacuum, right? So, Scott, where do you see yourself in 5 years, and where do you see your business in 5 years?
Um, that's a great question. Perfect answer on a beach somewhere, but
Mhm. That sounds
um,
lovely.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Um, I really don't know about in 5 years. I usually don't look more than a couple years ahead.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's just getting, for me, is getting more processes in place to help
Mhm.
us as we grow,
Yeah.
be able to maintain a level of service for our customers that's acceptable to them, and exceeds their expectations.
Mhm.
Because as you grow, your challenges then come in of, do you need more employees? How do you get this
Mhm.
product to them quicker? Things like that. What's the procedure, or operating, standard operating procedure of how we can do that? How does it need to change now that we have X amount of more customers?
Yeah.
And honestly, that's not my strength, and finding the right person who can and do that. So it's continuing to do that, and make sure that, or do your best to find um, ways to continue to help your customers.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that's the big one for us, right? It's really a service now industry we're
Mhm.
um, in the plumbing wholesale,
Yeah.
and being able to continue and improve on, hey, what can we do for them? What can we find to offer them that they don't even know that they need?
Mhm. Yeah.
And and in a big one, right? And I have to do this myself, is, Scott, stop
Mm.
and listen.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
becoming a better listener, a better leader,
Yeah.
um, and just,
Continuous improvement.
yeah, and continue to evolve as a person.
Yeah. Mhm.
So
On a beach somewhere.
Maybe a
That
couple
on
weeks
it.
out of
I'm
the
gonna
year
write
at
that
least.
down, Scott, and
Yeah.
check back in with you in 5 years. No, um, no, that's great. So the last thing I want to ask, do you have any offers or any promotions going on that you would like to share with the audience?
Mm, nothing out of the ordinary currently.
Okay.
We're just, we're developing a couple of different things again, trying to be forward thinking, but nothing that's concrete yet.
Mhm.
Uh, we just, like I said, along technology wise, we have e-commerce that
Mhm.
you can, shop online and
Yeah,
have an order printout here that you can come pick up and we'll have ready, or we can deliver to
great.
you. We have texting options, right? If you have questions or have pictures, you can
Yeah.
text them to us and we can answer you.
Mhm.
Um, we offer something called Hot Shot.
Mm.
So if within 20-25 miles, if you need us to bring you one little fitting, we'll do it for a $35 fee. So you don't have to
Mhm.
leave your job. Say
Hmm.
you forgot something or didn't know this pops up an emergency,
Yeah.
we'll bring it out to you so you don't have to leave and keep
You
working.
have to spend the time coming
Yeah,
and yeah.
commuting and back and forth.
Yeah. Sounds like you have quite an array of solutions.
We try to, and
Mhm.
and so and it's ongoing, developing things,
Yeah.
and so that's where we're at this point.
Mhm. Yeah, great. And then if somebody wants to get a hold of you or come and check out your warehouse, how can they reach you or the business?
Um, our main phone number is 951-894-4098.
Mhm.
We have TemeculaWinnelson.com. You
Okay.
can go on there and see us. We're on the border of Murrieta and Temecula,
Mhm.
uh, 41740 Reagan Way in Murrieta.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, any of those options, and pick up
Great.
the phone, give us a call, check out our website, and
Call them, go visit. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate your time today, Scott, and your insight and your openness about your business and your journey. And we'll continue to learn from you. So thank you again.
I appreciate your time and the opportunity to talk with you. Thank you.